This is a HeadGum podcast.
Hello and welcome to The Complete Guide to Everything, a podcast about everything. I'm one of your hosts, Tom.
And I'm Tim.
Tim, how you doing in this holiday season?
I'm feeling jolly, like the big man himself, the man upstairs.
God. Let's not forget, that's who this is all about.
God?
God and his son Jesus. But guess what? Same person.
Never understood it.
I remember going, in Catholicism school, them explaining to us that they were like, there was a scholar who spent his entire life trying to understand how the Father, Son, and Holy Ghost were the same thing. And he died never knowing how. It's like, what? Did he just sit there and think about it? Or did he do experiments? Like, give me more details about him spending his whole life doing this.
I don't understand how theology works in general. However, I was talking about Santa, the big man.
Yeah.
When I said I was jolly.
I've
never really seen God portrayed as jolly in anything that I've ever seen, I guess.
I would say that God and Santa are portrayed similarly with the beards and whatnot.
The Old Testament Santa is...
Yeah. Was Santa in the Old Testament?
No, but the Old Testament God was a mean man.
Yeah,
well, he wasn't even a man.
The New Testament God, we
only heard about him.
Yeah.
I don't know. But here's what I know about Santa. I've only ever seen him be a gentleman.
Well, what about when he leaves coal in stockings for
people who
little
deserve
shits?
it?
Well, according to who?
Does Santa ever say, like, hey, little boy, I need you to sacrifice your baby brother. Bring him to a mountain.
It was a test. God, you won't let that go.
Ho, ho, ho. Bring your little brother to the mountain.
Yeah, we don't know
Smash his head with a rock.
Yeah, we don't know what's going on up there.
I'll get you a Transformer and a Cabbage Patch doll.
Wow.
Yeah, this was 80s. This was in the 80s that he has. It's Old Testament stuff, 1980s.
How are you doing this week?
Tom, I told you I'm jolly earlier.
Okay.
I have an Only in New York in Silver Bells, Silver Bells. It's Christmas time in the city. An Only in New York story, Tom. I was on the subway.
Uh-huh.
Feeling the holiday spirit.
Oh, you're not allowed to do that on the subway anymore.
Just inside. She's talking about anymore.
It sounds like the good old days.
I might have been listening to some seasonally appropriate music.
Okay.
Yeah, I was in it, and then I looked across this was in the morning, like rush hour-ish.
Right.
But the train wasn't very crowded. Everybody was in a good mood. And I look, and there was a man sitting down just staring at me.
Yeah.
And I was standing up. I don't sit down on trains. I'm afraid somebody's going to take a picture of me and post it on the internet.
Right. Normal fear.
I'm just afraid of getting canceled for sitting down on a subway when somebody
Yeah, you do this show every week.
So this guy's looking at me, and I was like, maybe he was just like staring into space or whatever. And it's like, we caught eyes, and I looked away and whatever. And I looked back, and he was still looking at me.
Mm-hmm.
And then it was, 15 minutes or so.
Uh-huh.
And we finally get to, it's the station before the station that I'm going to, and he gets up, and he's still looking at me, and he goes and he stands across from me at the other door.
Uh-huh.
And I looked up, and he's looking, and he's smirking a little bit.
Yeah.
And then he reaches in his pocket, and and I was like, he must be getting his phone. He just took out a box cutter.
Whoa, no. All right.
And was staring at me with the box cutter, and then like smiling bigger and bigger. So like I walked to the other side of the train and got off on the was that a cowardly move?
No. I mean, you don't have to prove yourself to a possible maniac.
What if he had hurt somebody with that box? This is what. See, I thought he had it out for me.
Right.
But then I realized he had a weapon, and I walked away from the situation.
Right.
But then he was fine. He got off, and then he put the box cutter back in his pocket.
Yeah. He got what he wanted to scare the shit out of you.
Yeah.
And then
It's Christmas time in the city. How are you this week?
I'm good. I actually recently, I had, I think I mentioned this recently. I got a big TV, big television.
Yeah, you've been talking about it nonstop.
Oh, God, I love it, Tim. I'm watching so much TV.
Far too big for your home.
No, it's not. It's really not. I could have gone bigger. I
Even
might
when
go
it's
bigger.
off, it's distracting and disturbing.
Yeah, that's what you want.
It's very intimidating.
Good. As intimidating as a man with a box cutter smiling at you. Sometimes
It's
I
up
get
there.
Sometimes I get real, like I'll if I notice that people on TV are about life size, I'll get up and stand next to the TV and pretend I'm in the show.
Sometimes a close up is probably even
Oh,
bigger.
close up is way too big. Yeah.
Do people enjoy when you do that? Hey, look.
Yeah.
these
Look
are my
at,
size.
he's on the TV. Take a picture. I'm on the show. Get your camera. But so I had
I'm one of the desperate housewives. Is that what you're watching?
Yeah. First off, I'm being a real snob nowadays that like I won't watch things unless they're 4K because I have a 4K TV.
Wow.
Even though
That's
I
the
can't
most interesting thing about you, Tom.
I can't tell the difference, to be honest with you.
Yeah, me neither. Although, Tom, do you have Disney Plus?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, you're watching all those Star Wars movies
Yeah.
for no reason. If you watch the Forky shorts,
Okay.
those look great.
Oh, do they?
Those are in 4K.
Yeah, I gotta watch more of those. I forgot.
Yeah.
I'm watching the Star Wars movies in anticipation for this new Star Wars that is apparently bad. And
you've never really shown interest in the Star Wars franchise in general.
No, it's never been for me, although The Mandalorian is great. It's one of my favorite TV shows. I love it. So I'm viewing the rest of the Star Wars movies and all that other stuff is like, it's just background information for The Mandalorian, the only good Star Wars thing.
That's fine. You didn't like the cartoon, The Clone Wars?
I might get into it because it's the showrunner from The Mandalorian is the showrunner for that. So it's like, oh, maybe I'll like that then. Maybe that's
Jon Favreau?
No, it's like the other guy. I don't
George
know.
Lucas?
No, I don't think Jon Favreau is like, he's like the executive producer, but I don't think he's the actual showrunner. There's another guy.
That's okay. I don't care. You don't have to. You don't have to look into it.
I was just gonna say that because I had that giant TV, I had a giant box in my house for like a week, and I was like, I gotta cut this box up. They should make something to cut boxes up. And I was like, oh, a box cutter. I have a box cutter.
You normally just use it to menace people on the subway.
Right. And let me tell you, worked great. Cut that box up into nice pieces that would then fit in the recycling room.
Yeah.
No problem.
I don't like the way it makes me feel. It's like nails on a chalkboard. A box.
Yeah, it
cutter
made
on
me
a
nervous
cardboard
to
box.
use it, but
No, not nervous. I'm not a coward. I can cut up a box.
I mean, you are a coward. You ran away from a man with a box cutter.
Yeah. Well, that pregnant lady seemed like she could
she could take
handle
care of herself.
Yeah, exactly.
I
You're just like, oh, I was real lazy. I had this box in my your old television has been just out in the middle of your apartment for 2 weeks now.
Yeah, well, I wasn't sure. Not in the middle of my apartment.
I mean, it was on the chair that I sit in.
Right, and I moved it into the hallway. Yeah, that old TV, I got to find the stand for it because I think I'm just going to throw it out. Or not throw it out, like put it in the giveaway pile. I'm going to do a raffle
Grab
for
bag,
it.
Christmas grab bag.
Yeah, well, if somebody wants it. I mean, it still works. It's not very good anymore, but it still works. Somebody might want it. I was going to say I had an interesting experience on the subway today because I was on the subway.
Hey, Tom, I heard, do you ride the subway ever? I hear, sometimes in New York, people have an interesting experience on the subway.
Jesus, Tim. It's like we do the pre-show interviews for nothing. If you're not going
I
to give
knew
me
I
a
was supposed to ask you that,
natural
yeah.
segue into my
We'll
interesting
cut
subway
the other
story.
thing out. Man, New York City has a robust public transit system.
Sure does.
Do you ever ride the subway, Tom?
I was on the subway earlier today, Tim, and I was on the subway when this snow squall happened.
Yeah.
You know about the snow squall?
Yeah.
We had a big squall here. I thought that was just like a sailor term or a pirate term, like, hi, there's a squall up on the horizon. There is.
Yeah, it's just a storm that you can see, I think. It like comes in real quick.
It comes in real quick, which would allow you to see it clearly.
Right.
Yeah. So
I saw some videos of the squall in New York.
Yeah.
And boy, Tom, it was something.
So yeah, it's from what I was reading, it's similar to a tornado where they put out a squall warning because it's like this is going to happen very suddenly, and there might be a whiteout. So you got to be careful. Get off the roads if you can. But I was on the subway and everybody's phones kept doing the emergency broadcast tone.
Yeah.
Tim, if you do it, we'll get fined by the FCC. And it was mildly terrifying to have everybody's phones start playing the emergency broadcast signal because it just reminded me of like Cloverfield or something.
Yeah. This is why I told you, Tom, don't watch those movies. They get you all riled up.
I
didn't know they made Cloverfield in 4K.
They made it was like 4 different alerts that went out, and I checked every one because I was like, it's probably the same thing, but what if Godzilla's attacking?
Yeah, what if it's the Cloverfield monster?
Yeah. So I should check them all just before I get off the subway.
Yeah. No, that happened this morning. There were some, and that happened on the subway, and I was like, oh no, is this it? What's there? Because like they would sound that alarm for more than a squall also, right?
Oh yeah. I mean, a squall is a
that
small
should be
thing.
The bottom, the floor for the
there should
iPhone
be a
alert.
different tone.
Yeah, like don't really take this seriously.
For like, take this seriously in that, like, get off the road if you can.
I don't know. Maybe Dirty Bomb. We don't know what that sounds like. Maybe Apple has built in the most terrifying alarm sound.
It's just somebody screaming.
Yeah, so everybody's phones just start going like ah, and each phone has a different voice associated with it.
Well, so what freaked me out was it was the entire subway ride. I guess because of differences in like phones and carriers and stuff, it was just constant that people's phones. So the entire ride, somebody's phone was going.
Tom, that's too good of an impression. You're gonna get us kicked off the airwaves.
No, it's fine. I did at a slightly different tone. Just be careful. But yeah, and the squall came and it was pretty crazy. But guess what? I was indoors because
you were in the safest
phone
place.
Told me to get indoors, and I did it.
You were underground.
No. Oh, yeah, in the subway I was underground.
Yeah.
I was like, Tim, I live on the 3rd floor. Then you've thought this was underground the entire time?
I'd like to live underground one day.
What?
Or in a cave?
No, you would be so scared to live in a cave.
Why? Bears? Yeah, maybe.
No, just caves only have one entrance usually.
That's not true.
I mean, it's usually true. The caves you're thinking of are
That's not true. I'm thinking of a specific cave that I went into, and there were 2 entrances.
How far apart were they?
In meters.
Not in meters. Why would I want it in meters?
Maybe 30 feet.
Oh, that's not bad then.
Yeah.
That's, excuse me. That's a pretty good difference in, close enough, but not so close that something could block both.
Yeah, the only thing that I was afraid of is that it was so dark in there that I thought that there was a murderer waiting in there and just a thrill killer that was going to kill the next tourist that went in the cave.
Right. Don't like the national forest have to be full of these thrill killers?
I was so afraid of thrill killers.
Yeah.
Yeah, they must be. Yeah, like I'm not when I go camping, it's like bears maybe, but mostly
thrill killers,
mountain men, thrill killers.
I've been camping with you where you've brought that up where we've gone on a hike and you'll be like, should we go on that hike? What if there's a mountain man with a shotgun that wants to just kill us all?
Yeah,
just for the thrill of it.
Yeah.
There's a lot of people that go missing in national forests. Some people think it's aliens, but I think it might be thrill killers.
Probably a mixture of the two. 50-50.
Tim, this week, this isn't necessarily Christmas themed episode, but it's
treats. It's a treat for Christmas.
But it's pretty close to it because I can't think of a time of the year where you eat more of these That's right. Cookies.
Cookies. Hey, everybody, take a load off. It's the holidays. Put your feet up. Grab yourself a package of cookies. Make some cookies.
Yeah.
Maybe your great aunt made some cookies for the holiday season.
And if you're in the UK screaming at us that it's biscuits, we get it.
Yeah. The thing is, when people say that, when people will tweet at us from the UK,
Yeah.
I totally get it. They're like, oh, you called this thing a different thing than what we call it.
Yeah, we live in a different country.
Yeah, we're from here and we live here. We're going to call the thing that people call it here and that we've called it our whole lives.
Should we put out localized versions of the show?
We should do what cartoons do and have different people dub our voices.
Oh, God, that'd be great.
Right?
Yeah.
And then they'll make regionally specific jokes.
Yeah. And be
Yeah.
like, well,
Whenever
if you
we
want a
say
cookie like that, you have to go to Yorkshire.
Yeah. Well, I was in the tube at the Piccadilly Circus,
Yeah.
and a man with a what is it over there? Like what's the equivalent of a box cutter over there? Just like a mean look on his face. His hand was made into a fist.
Yeah. And there was no Bobby in sight.
Anyway, I'm gonna learn how to do this. Is my I'm jumping the gun, but this is my 2020 New Year's resolution.
New York resolution.
New York resolution. Now I'm gonna finally get a workable British accent.
No. You should
Because I try to do it all the time, and I'm nowhere near. And I just need to practice. If I devote 2 to 3 hours a day for a couple months,
yeah.
then come in here and do all right.
And your
Hold
wife
my
will
own.
love it.
Yeah, I mean, she doesn't like when I talk at all. Just
Right.
kidding. She likes hearing me talk. She likes hearing me pontificate.
Would you
She likes hearing me opine.
Would you seek out an accent coach, a voice coach?
I would like to if I had the funds. You know how Kumail Nanjiani was like, oh, I could only turn into this muscle-bound hunk.
Because of Marvel, with Disney's money.
Yeah, the biggest studio in the world paid. Maybe I can get Disney to pay for me to get British accent lessons, and then they can put me in something.
Now you understand that they did that for him because they liked him and they wanted him to be in a movie that they were making.
Mm-hmm.
They're not going to get you British
Accent lessons?
Yeah.
Why? Maybe they like me.
I haven't heard that they do.
Hey, you probably haven't heard anything over all your constant coughing.
I know, it's fine.
Bob
though.
Iger comes calling. You don't even hear the phone ringing because you're too busy coughing every 5
Look,
seconds.
I'm struggling through this episode, Tim, because I'm a professional, and
You know what? Professionals don't get sick.
professionals do get sick because they work so hard.
That's
what I've
one
been
thing they
doing.
say about you. You work yourself to the bone.
Yeah,
man.
Tim, I've been looking up cookie stuff. I've been researching cookies like you wouldn't believe this week.
Hey, Merry Christmas, everybody. Happy Hanukkah. Happy all the holidays.
Yeah, Kwanzaa.
Kwanzaa. What else is this time of year?
I don't know.
Tom!
Sometimes Ramadan is this time of year, but
Yeah.
I don't believe it
It's
is.
very disrespectful that we're naming the holidays and you're just coughing up a storm over there. Happy holidays. We're going to talk about cookies. Tom, let's go cookie for cookie.
Okay.
I was going to give like superlatives. Is that the thing?
Yeah.
Like best cookie and like
Best legs.
most improved cookie.
What?
You know,
Your most improved cookie.
yeah, I got one of them on my list.
I think it's you that improved, not the cookie.
It's perhaps.
All right, we'll see.
Do you know the high school that we went to?
Mm-hmm.
A mere 5 years ahead of us when they
Yeah.
give the class superlatives.
Yeah.
You said like best dressed, or,
Right. Or class clown.
They had nicest butt
nice.
as recently as 5 years before we graduated.
I'm surprised it wasn't more recent.
Yeah, maybe it was more recent. I don't know.
And did they have a picture of the butt?
I think they were like, you know, they have a
Yeah,
picture of everybody,
goofy,
and
yeah.
they were probably looking over their shoulders, and I'm sure the butt was clothed. The
That must-
early 90s were wild, man.
Yeah, that must be nice if you're a parent and you're like, oh, let me see your yearbook. What?
What if your kid won nicest butt? You'd be proud.
Yeah, I might be proud.
Huh.
But I'd want.
It's funny because we have such a more butt-centric society these days.
Nowadays, yeah.
Yeah.
Back
But
then,
that
no-
wouldn't fly in a yearbook. And I don't know. Maybe these days.
Nowadays, it would be nicest butt to eat.
All right.
With the time changing and all.
That's what they'd put in the high school yearbook, Tom?
Sure.
That's what you want to see in the high
Yeah.
school yearbook?
Not what I want to see. It's just, these maybe the high school yearbooks now are very sex positive.
Yeah. All right. Let's get to cookies, Tom. Cookie for cookie. Do you want to go first?
Yeah, I'm gonna go first, Tim. And look, I'm gonna point out the elephant in the room, the king of cookies, chocolate chip cookies. Let's give it up for chocolate chip cookies.
Tom, what I want to know about chocolate chip cookies, a true classic, by the way.
Oh, the classic of classics.
Can anybody answer me this? How Chips Ahoy became America's default chocolate chip cookie?
I think through just sheer will. What other chocolate chip cookie was out there saying we need commercials on television?
Toll House, man. Toll House was the original chocolate chip cookie.
Yeah.
They invented the chocolate chip cookie at the Toll House.
Look,
They didn't
though.
even think of before this lady at the Toll House, which is a place, I think.
Yeah.
Before she accidentally crumpled up a Nestle chocolate bar
Mhm.
into her bland sugar cookie.
Is that what happened?
Yeah.
Oh,
apparently.
that's where.
I don't know if it was an accident,
Right.
but
Yeah,
yeah.
because that sounds like a weird accident to happen to accidentally crumble a chocolate bar over your cookies.
Ruth Wakefield. She cooked all the food served at the Toll House Inn in Whitman, Massachusetts. Tom,
Okay.
and she was adapting her butter drop dough cookie recipe
hmm
and used a bar of semi-sweet chocolate.
What year was this?
This was 1936.
Nobody thought of chocolate chip cookies before then?
Man, Tom, life used to suck.
I know.
Life used to be so dumb.
These people were so bored all the time.
I
Why
know.
didn't they think of something like a chocolate chip cookie before?
I don't
thought
understand
chocolate
how they
chip
figured out
cookies-
butter and cheese before they figured out well, I guess butter you need for the chocolate chip cookie.
Right.
But the amount of work that went into figuring out butter or using yeast for cooking and stuff.
Yeah.
That all came way before. It's just like, just dump chocolate in it. It'll be good.
Yeah, and nobody thought, well, cookies are good, chocolate's good. Why don't we combine them?
Yeah.
Why don't we put some of this chocolate in that cookie? That's insane. Somebody else had to have been doing this beforehand. Maybe not chocolate chips, but you're telling me nobody thought, like, I'm going to put a hunk of chocolate in each of these cookies before I bake it.
Maybe, but a hunk of chocolate, as you know, probably wouldn't work as well.
No, of course not, but it wouldn't be bad, especially back then when everything sucked anyway.
Yeah. Look, Chips Ahoy, they're fine. I used to like the soft Chips Ahoy, chewy Chips Ahoy.
Yeah.
Chips Ahoy is just such a weird brand name too. Like
Yeah.
we take it for granted, but it's some sort of sailor chip or
Yeah,
sailor
Chips Ahoy.
cookie.
It's a man. It's a ship full of men sailing to the new world, and they found chips.
Yeah.
And the captain says, "Chips Ahoy!" And all the sailors kill him. There's a mutiny.
Why? Because they want the chips.
Yeah,
for
they want the
themselves?
chips for themselves. They're like, "Thanks a lot, Captain," and they stab him
Yeah,
real quick, like in prison.
yeah. That's how you gotta kill the captain.
Right. Or, yeah, don't make him walk the plank because, look, a lot of times the captain's got a silver tongue, and you make him walk the plank, and he'll convince everybody else to go against you.
You ever make chocolate chip cookies from scratch?
No.
I thought I was trying to catch you in a lie. That seems like the kind of thing that you'd be like, yeah, like assuming like, yeah, I probably have.
No,
And I
I
was going to ask you for specifics and call you out for the liar. There.
I don't think I've ever even made chocolate chip cookies not from scratch. I was actually thinking about that recently where I was like, why don't I buy one of these tubes of cookie dough and just make some chocolate chip cookies?
Yeah.
There's apparently like no bake chocolate chip cookies, which
Well, that you don't want.
I think is maybe that's just Chips Ahoy. Just
Yeah.
cookies in a package?
Yeah. No, but the reason, even if you buy that tube and you just slice it,
Yeah.
then you have warm cookies.
Yeah, and you
That's
get that nice smell in your house.
Yeah.
Putting things in the oven.
God, I love
I'm
warm
so
cookies.
mad about how much I pay for my oven every month.
Wait, what?
Because I have to pay a gas bill every month.
How much is your gas bill?
It's like $17 a month minimum.
Really?
Yeah, because there's a minimum, and that's the minimum. And I never use more than that. But it's like I can't imagine I've used $17 worth of gas the entire time I've lived here.
Probably the entire time you've lived your life.
Right. I use the stovetop and the oven maybe once a week.
My gas bill is nowhere near that high, Tom. Oh, yeah, it is. Yeah, it is.
That's crazy. It's like I watch Netflix more than I'm using my oven. How is this fair?
Yeah. If anything, you should pay Netflix more.
Well, and when I moved in, they had to turn my gas back on. And they were like, this gas has been off for years. And I was like, what? That's crazy. The person living here didn't use the oven at all. But now I understand. That's probably why they had to move out, run out of house and home, paying that gas bill every month.
Well, I'm sorry you had to pay that.
Because I cancel so many things that are like $5 or $10.
Tom, stop it! Nobody cares about your gas bill. Fine, cancel your gas. Who cares? Nobody.
No, it was such a pain to get it turned on in the first place.
I didn't pay my gas bill when I first moved into my apartment because I was like, I'll just never set it up.
What will they do?
Because I was like, it's on now. What are they gonna do? How do they know? And they shut it off.
Yeah.
And I called the gas company and I was like, hey, I'm going to need this gas turned back on. And they're like, you got to pay this money. And I was like, all right, I'll pay the money. I paid the money. And I was like, all right. And they're like, we'll be there in like 6 weeks.
Yeah.
And I was like, this is illegal. Like, what if this were the winter and I didn't have heat because of this?
Oh, it was like a heat gas too?
Well, no. That's why I didn't. Well, anyway, and the guy on the phone went, well, it's August, and it's not the winter, so we're going to come in 6 weeks.
Right. It won't be the winter in 6 weeks either.
Yeah. The guy made a compelling point. I had to buy a hot plate. My wife was very upset with me.
Like, yeah, I mean, that's a real hobo move.
Yeah. Well, she was upset because she was like, hey, you got the gas bill all figured out? She actually asked me a few times. I was like, yeah, sure. And in my head, I was like, I'm saving us so much money.
Yeah, you're like, yeah, I got it figured out all right. I'm not going to pay it. When this guy came to turn on the gas, and then he goes into the basement. He comes back up. He goes, I can't turn on the gas. There's a lock on it. I was like, what? Why is there a lock on it? It's like, because
shouldn't he have the key?
Yeah, he was like, because the old person didn't pay. I was like, right, but you guys put the lock on. Take the lock off.
Did you have to pay the old tenants?
No, thank goodness. That I would not have gas to this day.
Yeah.
Even if it was $5, I'd be like, absolutely not. I get the old tenants' mail all the time.
What's his name?
Her. Tim, you don't think women can live in apartments?
I didn't think the woman would necessarily be so cheap that she wouldn't have the gas.
Yeah, that is surprising. Like, I would assume that's more of a like college age boy
or just
move.
some jackass bachelor.
Yeah.
Tom, my cookie, and this is in no particular order, but I think we should get the big dogs out of the way.
Mm-hmm.
Sugar cookie.
Yeah.
Tom?
Mm-hmm. All cookies are sugar cookies.
Yeah, but a specific, a simple, made from sugar, flour, butter, eggs, vanilla, and baking powder or baking soda.
It's pronounced vanilla.
What did I say?
Vanilla.
I said Berniller.
All right, so you're talking sugar cookies with the sugar on top?
Yeah, could be. Look, Tom.
I like the ones with the frosting on top.
Okay.
All right. Well, I'm not trying to start a fight. I'm just saying that's what I like.
But it seemed like I think sugar cookies encompasses both of those.
Yeah.
And I thought you were trying to pigeonhole me into advocating the one that wasn't as good as your preferred one.
No.
I thought you were trying to.
The ones with frosting,
fight me.
I really like because I like frosting.
Yeah. I like it all. You know what?
I like the frosting that gets hard a little bit.
Gross.
No, because sometimes it's like frosting where it's more like a whipped cream.
Yeah, it gets all in your mustache and it stinks.
Yeah, no, I like a little bit of a hard frosting.
I get it.
One that dries a little bit.
Yeah. I had never really given much thought to sugar cookies when I was a younger man.
Sugar cookies, that's a big Christmas cookie. It's one of the Christmas cookies you see. You might leave them out for Santa Claus.
I was over a friend's house the other day.
Uh-huh.
They made some sugar cookies, offered them to me.
Yeah.
It was probably the best cookie of 2019. Nah, I had another cookie. I had a s'mores cookie the other day.
What now? What's a s'mores cookie?
It's a cookie, but baked into it is
mushrooms, not mushrooms, marshmallows, psychedelic mushrooms,
marshmallow, chocolate. I guess there was no real graham cracker.
Huh, because you could make a graham cookie, I would think.
Yeah, but this was fine. It was like a chocolate chip cookie. I preferred it to graham.
That graham crackers were supposed to stop people from jerking off?
Tom, what? There's an episode about cookies, and you've been talking about dirty stuff the whole time.
I'm just saying. Do you know that?
I thought it's Christmas morning. The majority of people are listening to this while they're opening their gifts, or before they open their gifts. Like, let's gather the family around to listen to this cookies episode. You're talking about J&O and eating
the
peas.
graham cracker was invented to stop you from masturbating. It's right here. Natalie O'Neill writing for the New York Post,
the paper of record.
Yeah.
Is this on page 6?
This is the longest New York Post article I've ever seen. I'll have to read that later.
Why?
Well, I'm not going to read it now. I'm recording a podcast.
All right. Sugar cookies. Try it. Give it a shot.
Yeah, I'm sure people have tried them.
I don't know. All right, Tom. Cookie for cookie.
My next cookie is... I'm going to go with oatmeal raisin cookies.
Ooh. Kids hate them, but kids are friggin' dumb.
Well, kids hate them for an understandable reason, which is they look like chocolate chip cookies.
Yeah.
And when you think you're getting a chocolate chip cookie, but it's an oatmeal raisin cookie, that's disappointing.
I like iced tea, but when I think I'm going to get a sip of Coca-Cola Classic...
Exactly. You just got to be prepared for what it is.
Exactly.
But oatmeal raisin cookies are delicious.
They're chewier than a chocolate chip.
Yeah, which, you know what, I'll be honest with you, Tim. That's what I look for in a cookie. I like chewy cookies. I'm not going to lie to you.
Yeah, I don't like, they're breaking off too much.
A crumbly cookie. Get out of here. Although I do have a crumbly cookie in mind, a few. But I like a chewy cookie, so that's why I like oatmeal raisin cookies. And because it's oatmeal raisin, you kind of feel like this is not a cookie. I can eat 100 of these.
Yeah, there's still a ton of sugar in it.
Yeah, well, sugar's good for you, though. That's what keeps you going.
Raisins, again, they figured out raisins before they figured out chocolate chip cookies.
This person will remain nameless, but somebody was telling me recently that their significant other just recently found out that raisins are grapes.
Oh, man. Let's go to a break.
They did not know this previously.
What?
Yeah.
All right, that's fine.
Yeah.
We all have our blind spots.
You know what? If you're not thinking about raisins all that much, if you don't like raisins, then that's fine. It's like, oh, I don't like them, so I've never really thought about it.
Yeah.
You're telling me they're grapes? Okay, I'll believe you.
Is Craisins a trademarked name?
I believe so. I believe Ocean Spray has trademarked it.
Well done, Ocean Spray.
Yeah, because it's a great name. It's just dried cranberries, but they call them Craisins.
Yeah.
And I was more apt to try them because I like raisins, so let me try Craisins.
Craisins are good. Ocean Spray figured it out because they're like, cranberries taste bad, but we'll just put a bunch of sugar in all of the cranberry
try
products.
them out.
Yeah. They got swindled. Old man Ocean Spray got swindled into buying this cranberry bog. They're like, there's full of berries. He's like, great, I'll take it. And then he's like, crap. These berries taste like garbage.
Right.
Put sugar in it. And that's the story of cranberries.
I was gonna say, surprisingly, I somewhat recently made like a one of those walnut and dried cranberry and goat cheese salads.
Mm-hmm.
With lettuce and stuff too.
I would go with spinach in there, Tom.
Yeah, I think that's what I did have.
Okay.
Canned spinach,
Like Popeye.
Yeah.
I'll take the Popeye special.
But the dried cranberries, the craisins, were the cheapest to buy.
Wow.
I would think some generic would be. This is a fascinating episode. Talking about how much my gas bill is, what the cheapest dried cranberries are. Jesus Christ. Somebody should come in and put us out of our misery.
Yeah. Never wanted to encounter a thrill killer more right now.
No, you wouldn't even get that much of a thrill killing us right now. He'd come in all hot and ready, and then he'd be like, look, I'm not even going to enjoy this. You guys are so boring.
Yeah. Tom, I'm going to go a little outside the box here. And don't...
All right, yeah, try and give this thrill killer something to work with here.
Don't yell at me. Rainbow cookies.
I was going to say I have on my list those Italian cookies.
Yeah. They're often called Italian flag cookies.
That's not the Italian flag, though.
Yeah, it is.
All those colors? There are that many colors on the Italian flag?
There's 3 colors.
No, I've had ones that have a bunch of colors. Yellow's on the Italian flag?
No, it's white.
No, I've had ones with yellow.
Yeah, but the yellow represents white.
No, you can just have white.
You've had one. They're
well,
not
maybe,
all...
Yeah, I was going to say maybe I've had a rainbow cookie, but there are ones out there called Italian flag cookies, and they don't have as many colors.
So it's sponge cake, and they're fused together. It's generally 3 layers.
Yeah.
And it's got a jam, apricot or raspberries, and then chocolate on top.
Yeah.
You're not one of these people like, that's actually cake, not a cookie.
Oh, no. Because
who cares?
You never see it as a cake. You never have a
Yeah.
slice of that. It's cut up like a cookie.
Yeah.
I mean,
a friend of mine had a rainbow cookie wedding cake.
Ooh.
Yeah. But it was all gone by the time that I got to the
To the
stage.
wedding?
No, I was dancing.
Oh.
I didn't know anybody
never
at the
heard
wedding,
of-
so I got real drunk and just danced a lot.
Well, that sounds like a not good idea. I don't think I've ever been at a wedding where the cake runs out. It's always like there's so much cake. There's too much cake.
I think there was another cake. This was an artisanal cake that one of their friends had made for them. And look, you can't. That's expensive to make. Do you know what the layers are made out of? The sponge?
No.
Almond. They're almond based.
Yeah, you know what I was gonna say. That those rainbow cookies are a cookie that I'm always excited for, but then when I eat it, I'm like, I don't really like this. I love almonds.
If they're properly if it's properly moist, Tom, there's nothing better.
I don't like the taste of almond paste.
What is wrong with you?
I just don't like
They put
it.
sugar in it.
I
It's
know,
fine. They
but
mix it up
I
with
like
sugar.
almonds. I like almond milk. I like everything to do with almonds except for the paste.
Well, guess what? An almond becomes paste in your mouth while you're masticating.
Yeah. But I'm the one who's going too far in this episode, huh? To go along the lines of your Italian cookie, I'm going to say a different type of Italian cookie. Oh, that's what I was going to say. Did you know, speaking of cookies and cakes, that's where cookies come from? It was back in the days when they didn't have thermometers for ovens. It was, you would put a little bit of cake in there, put it in there, see if it baked, see if it got burnt or whatever, and then take that out. And then it was like, well, no need to have this.
Dog.
No need to have this go to waste. I'll eat it.
Oh, yeah.
And then
the dog said that?
what? No, Tim. For the last time, dogs couldn't talk in the past.
I've seen films that might change your mind.
Have you seen the video of this cat that says, "Oh, hi"?
Yeah, I don't want to talk about it because
love
I'll
it.
be seen as a curmudgeon. I don't
You don't
just
hear
sounds
it?
like a cat.
Oh, it sounds
Yeah, like-
to me a 1,000,000% like a cat saying, "Oh, well, hi." And I love it.
I'm
watch it so
happy
many
that
times.
it brings so many people so much joy.
I'd love. I would have a cat if I had a cat. When I came home, I went, "Well, hi."
I would hate it. I would hate it so much.
Right now, I have a dog that barks at you when you come here.
Yeah. Your dog was not letting up today. Just
No.
barking and barking.
Well,
and
and she's
barking.
not. It's not like an aggressive, like "get out of here." It's like a "pay attention to me"
Yeah.
bark. So Italian cookies going for cookie. I'm gonna say thumbprint cookies.
The hell is a thumbprint cookie?
I didn't know that this was the name
People
of it.
putting their
But it's
fingers all
one of
over
those
my
cookies that's like kind of a round sugar cookie with like not a tomato, a cherry
Oh
pushed
yeah.
into it.
Oh, I
You
didn't
know
there
those
was a
guys?
Yeah.
Or like an apricot or spread or whatever.
Yeah,
in
but
there.
let's be honest. The cherry is what we're.
Right, but that's
what
not
we're
always an
after.
option. Sometimes it does just have a little jam in there.
Yeah.
But yeah, those cookies I like. Those, I feel like when you get like an Italian cookie platter, they don't put that many of those in there.
No.
Those
Another
must
one.
cost money.
I would say the same with the rainbow cookies.
Yeah, it's always light on those and heavy on just sugar cookies.
Yeah. Which, hey, nothing wrong with sugar cookies when they're done right.
Right, but just saying you can get sugar cookies anywhere. If I'm getting an Italian cookie platter, I want some of these
Yeah.
special Italian cookies.
All right, cookie for cookie. I'm gonna finish off that Italian cookie platter.
Mhm.
A sandwich cookie, and that's a whole genre of cookies. We'll get to the other ones, but the one with the jam and it's long, and the
Okay.
one end is dipped in chocolate, and then there's sprinkles on it.
Yeah,
I
I
don't know,
know
it's
that. It kind of looks like a finger a little
Yeah,
bit.
is that a lady finger? Is that what a lady finger is?
I think a lady finger's a bug.
No, it's a ladybug. I think you're
Oh,
thinking of.
okay. I don't know if that's a lady finger. I don't think that's a lady finger, but it would make sense if that's what a lady finger is.
Oh no, they're more spongy.
Lady fingers.
Lady fingers.
Okay. Well, since we're going with nationality-based cookies, Tim, I'm gonna take a jet from Italy to Scotland.
Cool, a jet.
Yeah. I mean,
Private jet?
Tim, it's a Concorde.
Holy shit, you must get there in like 4
I'm
seconds.
breaking windows.
Wow, you're breaking wind.
Yeah. It's my jet. I can do what I want. I'm going to go to Scotland and get myself a shortbread cookie.
No, explain what that is.
It's just shortbread, but, in the shape of a cookie.
What is shortbread?
It's just like a real buttery, dry bread.
Yeah.
It's nice. It's so dry.
But I thought you hated the crumbles.
You know what, though? This goes so far the other way that it works because it's so dry that you get, you know what? We've talked about this on the show. The most satisfying feeling in the world when you're really thirsty and then you get a drink of something. The shortbread cookie does that, or
Yeah.
shortbread does that. It's a way to get yourself real thirsty. And then when you have like a nice gulp of milk,
No.
I don't
Stop drinking
look.
milk.
I don't drink milk. I don't like milk. But if I'm eating a shortbread cookie, give me some milk, and
No,
I'll be
coffee,
a happy boy.
A coffee. I like a crumbly cookie with a
Yeah,
coffee.
coffee wouldn't be bad
Yeah.
either. Coffee and cookies are very good.
Classic combo.
Yeah, even if it's not the type of cookie you can dunk in the coffee, it's still good.
I don't think anybody should be dunking anything in anything with the exception of one cookie in milk.
Isn't it weird that that's like Twix's marketing campaign right now? They're trying to convince people that Twix are a thing to dunk in coffee.
I didn't know that.
Yeah.
I don't.
I mean, it's not a terrible idea, but it's also like, come on, Twix.
Yeah.
What are you trying to do? Your whole thing was buy our candy bar because you get 2 candy bars.
Right. They've run that gimmick into the ground, though.
Oh, 100%. So now they're trying to tell me I should get this for my coffee?
Are they just trying to be like, okay, let's sell candy to adults?
Yeah. I mean, it's probably pretty good. I haven't tried it.
Probably
But,
it's chocolate. It's fine.
But it's one of
Coffee's
those
good,
things where
chocolate's
it's
good.
like, oh, if I read this on like a BuzzFeed article or whatever, I'd be like, oh, cool, I'll try that one day. Don't make it an ad campaign, guys.
It's,
have
the
some
lines have
respect.
blurred, man.
Yeah.
Tom,
Mm-hmm.
as long as we're talking nationalities, why don't you get back on the Concorde,
Okay.
fly back to London?
Back to? I was
Yeah.
in Italy before.
Oh, yeah. Okay, fly to London,
Okay.
and then get on the Channel. I guess this doesn't work anymore. I
Wait, I'm
forgot.
going to France?
Yeah, you're going to France.
Okay. Why didn't I just take the jet to France?
Because I forgot. I thought that you were London-based in this scenario.
No.
I forgot that you were in
I
Italy
mean, I could
earlier.
take the train to London from Scotland
I know.
and then take the Channel. But if I've got this jet at my disposal, why wouldn't I use it?
The restricted airspace in
Look, in this-
France.
In this reality,
Oh, the Concorde only flies into
New York and London.
Yeah. That's why I thought London.
Right.
Sure.
You had
That's what I
Concorde
meant.
on the brain.
I got Concorde on the brain. A macaron. A macaron. A macaron.
Macaroon?
No, macaron. Macaron.
Yeah, I like macaroons.
No. Or a French macaroon, I guess, but a macaron.
So these are like the ones that are different colors.
Yeah. Meringue based. Almond meal again.
Yeah, that's like the one. I'll make a little exception for that.
They're so chewy but glazed kind of. They have such a great texture, the way they kind of crack when you bite into them.
Yeah. They're expensive though.
I know, who cares? We can afford it.
I can't, Tim. With the amount of cookies I eat, I've got to go
cut
simple.
back, maybe go sugar cookies
I
364
can't
days of the
even-
year, and then Christmas Day some macarons.
I can't even do that, Tim. Most of the cookies I eat are just flour and water. That's how many cookies I eat.
Dough?
Yeah, it's just dough I bake in the oven.
Mm.
But when you eat as many cookies as I do, that's the sacrifice you have to make.
And then you drink the vanilla extract to get drunk,
Anytime I've
like
been,
Tom Hanks on Family Ties.
oh, is that what he was doing?
think
Can
so.
you get drunk off vanilla extract?
He told Alex P. Keaton all about it when
Yeah.
he was jonesing for a drink in the middle of the night.
I remember, I've been to the Caribbean a few times, and they always sell vanilla extract down there. And I remember coming back and telling my mom, and she was like, "You should have bought vanilla extract's so expensive. You should have bought some. That's such a good price." And I was like, "Well, I don't use vanilla for anything."
Stop yelling at me. Every time I try to tell you about my vacation, you yell at me about vanilla.
Yeah, you should have brought back some vanilla.
Yeah.
And it was a good price, but it was still pretty expensive.
You're just like, nah, Mom. I was like, I'm 23 years old. Why would I bring?
Yeah,
why would I buy
I've made
vanilla
it,
extract?
I've made it this far without ever needing vanilla extract, so I'm gonna assume I don't need more and not buy a gallon of it for $60 because that's a good price.
All right, what do you got? What's your next?
How about this one? Black and white cookies.
Ooh, a little too cakey for me.
It depends. I've had ones that are too cakey, and I 100% see where you're coming from because there are some that are a little too thick, a little too soft, and that's more of a cake to me.
Yeah, and they get a little too dry. But if done right,
If done right, I notice that more if you get the store made, a grocery store made small black and white cookies. Those are more cakey. You want to go to a bakery and get a black and white cookie, and then they're going to be nice.
yeah.
And they're delicious.
Store bought versions of bakery treats. Don't get a rainbow cookie at a supermarket either.
Yeah, supermarkets are good for a lot of things, but the bakery department,
The department is good, but when
you can, a lot of stuff, it's all right, this isn't as good as a bakery, but it's 95% there, it's fine. But the cookies, I feel like it's always, there's just something missing.
yeah, agreed. Look, too dry. Across the board, too. Can
Do
you
you-
stop coughing, Tom?
I'm going to take a cough drop.
Oh, no. Do not rattle that around in your teeth.
No, I've softened up my teeth now, so it's fine.
You've softened up your teeth?
Yeah.
All right. Thank you.
How do you eat a black and white cookie? You eat it straight down the middle, or you eat one side and then the other?
I have
Keep in mind, depending on which side you eat first, I will claim you're a racist.
I know. I go in without a strategy. I just bite
Oh,
willy-nilly.
yeah, right.
I don't look. I didn't even notice that there were
Tim,
two
you
different
have,
colors
you have
on it.
unconscious biases.
Tom, to be honest,
I'd like to watch you eat one of these.
when you said black and white cookie and held up the black and white cookie just now, I went, "Oh, I've always seen those cookies. I've never noticed the difference between the two sides."
You just thought they were gray cookies.
Yeah, I just see it as a cookie. Cookies are cookies to me, and that's that.
What's your cookie? Your next cookie?
Hey, let's
Hey,
head to
Tim,
the Netherlands.
What's your next cookie?
Yeah, this one. I don't know how to get to the Netherlands from France.
You could take a plane there. I think
Yeah.
you could also take a train, or you could drive.
I bet you could even walk. Take a while.
Take a long time, yeah.
Stroopwafel,
Ooh.
which I think is
Now
my.
you consider that a cookie?
Yeah,
I mean, it's a waffle.
it's a wafer cookie made from 2 thin layers of baked dough joined by a caramel filling.
Yeah. Okay. I'll allow it.
Tom, the Stroopwafel is relatively new on this guy's radar.
Yeah. In the U.S., we didn't have Stroop waffles until somewhat recently.
And holy hell, I think it's my favorite confection.
Yeah, it's a very good thing to eat.
I don't think there's anything I enjoy eating more than a Stroopwafel.
I remember the first time I had a Stroop waffle, it blew my mind. I was like, how is this taking so long to pop up?
It's a little crispy, but then it's so chewy.
Yeah.
It's perfect. Tom, it's just the top. It's delicious. A Stroopwafel, a round of Stroopwafels for my friends here.
For the table.
Oh man, that's the baller move. Maybe I'll go into work tomorrow with Stroopwafels for everybody. Like 5 or 6 Stroopwafels per person.
That would be probably too much.
What do you mean too much?
People will get sick.
Yeah, that's my plan.
And then you take over the company?
Yeah,
It's
the
not a bad
perfect plan. Maybe I'll put some glue in the caramel. Then none of them will be able to talk in the meeting.
Then you'll have to do all the talking.
Exactly. And I'll be like, if you disagree with me performing this hostile takeover, say aye. And people will be like, yeah, but they'll still be happy because the Stroopwafels were delicious. They'll be like, they'll write to each other, you got to hand it to this guy. He's a generous man when it comes to his confections.
Yeah, you think the Stroop waffles would still be delicious if they were filled with glue instead of caramel? I don't know if that would necessarily
glue
work.
in addition to the caramel, Tom.
I think the glue would ruin the caramel.
Shows what you know about glue and caramel and the proportions, what you can actually taste.
My next cookie, you know what, I'm going to do...
Are you kidding me?
I'm trying to...
This is my worst nightmare. You're trying to chew a cough drop right into the mic.
I'm trying to chew it so it doesn't rattle around in my teeth.
Well, I heard it rattling around in the teeth, and now it's chewing noise. It's all... This is horse feathers, man.
I'm going to go with my last cookie that I like before I get to problematic cookies.
Okay.
White chocolate macadamia nut cookies.
Yeah.
I don't know why it works, but it works.
What do you mean? It's chocolate and it's nuts and a cookie.
Yeah, but I've had macadamia nuts on their own, and I don't know, there's not much to them.
Yeah, but they
But in
haven't
a
been
cookie-
surrounded by sugar.
Yeah, I guess in a cookie they add like a nice crunch.
Yeah.
And it keeps you guessing, is this a macadamia nut or a white chocolate chip? And they're like, fuck, it's a macadamia nut. I want a chocolate chip.
How small are your bites that you can't get a little bit
They're
of
little teeny bites I take to make the cookies last.
Tom, I'm going to go with a favorite of mine as a child. And some may say a cookie is just a cookie, but Newtons are fruit and cake. But I'm going to say Fig Newtons. That's falling under cookies for me.
Yeah, those are cookies. You know what? When I was a kid, I didn't like them, but then I grew to like them.
Figs, man. I'm a fig man.
You know
these
why I
days.
didn't like them? Because they were a thing that were not in my house, but were in other people's houses. So it was like when you're little, where it's like that's kind of like a foreign food.
Yeah.
So even when you're like, I kind of like this, but it's weird because I'm not used to this. This isn't in my house.
A friend of mine always had Kudos bars, and I was like, what the hell is this?
Oh, we always had Kudos bars.
Yeah, you seem like you'd be a from a Kudos household.
Go to hell. Kudos bars are good. I had not thought about those in a very long time. There were these little like granola bars, but they had like chocolate. They were like,
essentially candy bars.
Right.
They were the oatmeal raisin cookies of candy bars.
Yeah.
So like for some reason
they were like
was...
granola bars, but then the bottom would be coated in chocolate, and they would also have like mini M&Ms baked inside of them,
and then chocolate drizzled on top. Also,
yeah. They were very small, though.
Yeah. But as children, we were very small. Yeah. So, Fig Newtons. I'm a fan. I'm not going to get into it. I just like figs. And no further questions.
Yeah, Fig Newtons are good. I don't think that my supermarket carries Fig Newtons. I never see them. Oh, we haven't talked about Oreos.
Yeah, that was going to be my big finish.
Oh. All right. Well, pretend I didn't say that.
No. Let's just get to them.
Okay.
This will be. They're only good in milk, and don't take them apart. And the worst part is the cream.
These are you just threw out some very controversial opinions there.
Go on. How do you eat Oreo cookies? Do you pull them apart and then methodically lick the cream and go, the cream?
I ate them normal like. You know what I like, actually? The only Oreos that I've bought, even somewhat recently, have been the thin Oreos.
Oh, those are good.
Those are very good.
You ever had the pistachio thins?
Oh, get that. What are you, a freak?
What?
Pistachio thin Oreos?
Yeah.
Disgusting.
Yeah, I'm a freak. If that makes me a freak, Tom, I'm the freakiest.
Yeah, you are a freak. Come on. It's being adult enough getting the thin ones.
Nastiest freak you've ever seen.
You don't have to get the pistachio ones.
What do you mean?
It's gross.
Tom, you are going to eat your words after you eat this pistachio thin Oreo.
Yeah, maybe. I really like pistachio nuts. Are they salty?
No. You know, like pistachio ice cream?
No, I've never had it.
Oh, it's not. Look, you're going to eat your words.
All right. I'll try it.
Yeah,
I'll try anything.
If you don't like it, I'll fucking punch you in the face. Because
Um,
I'll know you're lying.
But I've not had. When I was a kid, I'd lick the cream out of the Oreos. But ever since I grew up,
you
just eat the Oreo whole.
Yeah. Double stuff. The ratio's all wrong.
I think it's fine, but I don't think it adds that much to it having double.
That stinks.
You know what I will say, though, and maybe this is controversial. By far, my favorite Oreos are the golden Oreos.
I don't think I've ever had them.
Really? Because they have like vanilla cookies instead of chocolate cookies as the two sides, and I like them. They're very good. Have you ever had Newton-O's? The
Numinos?
Numinos, yeah.
No, wait. Is that what they're called?
Yeah, Numinos, not Newton-O's. I was thinking of Fig Newtons. Have you ever had Newton-O's?
I have.
They're very good.
Paul Newman.
Yeah.
A great man.
Mm-hmm.
It's a shame that Paul Newman's dead, huh?
It is, but he was old. That's what happens.
But like other old people who are worse than him are still alive.
That's very true.
And they stink.
I guess God's not fair. Is that what you were getting at?
I didn't. God's not fair.
All right. Now I'm getting into some cookies that I don't necessarily like all that much. Gingerbread cookies I like, but only in small doses.
Okay.
Kiss cookies, these with the Hershey's Kisses in the middle.
That's like a thumbprint cookie.
Yeah, those are good, but like if there are other cookies, I'll prefer them. Thank you very much.
Right.
Peanut butter cookies. I love peanut butter. I love cookies. They're a little too dry.
Yeah, they can't figure it out.
Ginger snaps, same thing. Fortune cookies.
Oh, what's wrong with fortune cookies, Tom?
Too dry. Too crumbly.
No, you're not supposed to eat the paper.
Oh. Well, how is my fortune going to come true if I don't eat the paper?
Yeah, that's true.
How
do we feel about snickerdoodles?
I have that on my list, and I like them, but I kind of feel like those aren't even a cookie.
You know what? Anything's
They're
a cookie.
like a pastry almost.
No, they're not.
A confection.
Eh.
They are good. I haven't had one in a while.
You should have one, Tom.
Yeah. We ain't even talking about Girl Scout cookies.
No, that'll be a whole different.
Yeah.
Well, you're legally not allowed to talk about the Girl Scouts, right? It's part of your settlement.
If you like the show, you can find out more at tcgt.com. You can follow us on Facebook, facebook.com/complete guide. You can follow us on Twitter at complete guide. You can follow me on Twitter and Instagram at Tom Reynolds.
Follow me at your pal Tim.
And you can support the show by going to going to tcgt.com/Amazon for your Amazon shopping, especially the holidays. If you're listening to this now, you might be like, oh shit, I forgot a bunch of holiday shopping. tcgt.com/Amazon. Get it all done in one fell swoop. And you can also check out patreon.com/complete guide for our weekly other podcast called Books the Podcast. We're getting in the tail end of Little Women now.
Yeah, a couple more weeks of you reading Little Women.
And then they become Big Women. And
then I am going to go see the movie. And here's the thing. If you go see the movie and then listen to the episode, Tom will reimburse you for going to see the movie.
Just send us your movie ticket stubs.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Remember when Kevin Smith pulled that scam?
It was like if you didn't like it.
No. It was, he was trying to become number one at the box office with Jay and Silent Bob Strike Back.
Okay.
It was something like this. A friend of ours, Chris, did this.
All right.
And I think it was if you went opening weekend on Friday and Saturday night, and you sent him
so if you went
the
twice.
ticket stub.
Yeah.
I feel like he would either reimburse you, but that doesn't make sense. Maybe he would like send you an autographed something.
Yeah, I think that's what it was. It was like an autograph.
And I know our friend did this.
Mm-hmm.
I think he saw it once and then just bought the ticket and sent it in. Just never heard from that man.
Wow.
And I think he was just like, it didn't go to number one, so I didn't have to do that for you guys.
Yeah, that makes sense. That checks out. No, there was some movie. Oh, what was it? There was a movie Bruce Willis made, and he was like, if you don't like the movie and you see me in the street, I will give you your money back. And it's like, well, yeah, I'm going to have to run into you on the street, and then I'm going to have to be like, hey, I'm a really big fan. You owe me $15.
Yeah.
Or back then, it was probably like $12.
Yeah.
I bought a ticket to see the Star Wars on Friday, $24.
In 3D?
I guess maybe it is 3D. I mean, I have the AMC A-list, so I'm not paying for it. I'm part of the A-list. Man, Tim, have you ever seen, if you go to the theater, there's a separate concession line for the A-list people?
Oh, I know. I've got caught because there's generally at the AMC I go one person working the thing, so a line will just get longer and longer, and then some dick will walk up and just cut.
Yeah, that was the way I felt until I had it. And then I went to see a movie and there was a big long line, and I just like ambled up to that line and I was taken next immediately. I was like, oh, everybody hates me. I love this.
Yeah. I don't know.
And then I just asked for a water.
I want to be well liked at the movie theater.
Oh, I know. I want to be a villain at the movie theater. I want everybody to hate me.
Well, it's on brand, I guess.
Yeah.
Hey, Tom.
Mm-hmm.
Happy holidays.
Yeah.
And hey, listeners, happy holidays to you and yours.
Yeah.
We'll see. Are we done? Did you have more to say about being a dick at the movie theater?
No.
All right. Cool. Hey, thanks for listening, and we'll see you next week.
Goodbye.
That was a HeadGum podcast.